guys, it's Miss Ainsley. Today we are going to read A House for Hermit Crab by Carle. This is a big book, so I have to hold it a little differently today. But it's fun because you get to see all of the nice pictures. So let me give you some information about hermit crabs before we start. It's on this page. Hermit crabs live on the ocean floor. Their skin is hard, except for the abdomen, that's their belly, which is soft. To protect this soft spot, the hermit crab borrows a shell and makes this its house. Then, only its face, feet, and claws stick out from the shell. That way, it can see, walk, and catch its food. When a hermit crab is threatened, it withdraws into its shell until the danger has passed. So we're going to read about hermit crab and his shell house today. "Time to move," said Hermit Crab one day in January. "I've grown too big for this little shell." He had felt safe and snug in his shell, but now it was too snug. Hermit Crab stepped out of the shell and onto the floor of the ocean. But it was frightening out in the open sea without a shell to hide in. "What if a big fish comes along and attacks me?" he thought. "I must find a new house soon." Okay, there he is jumping out of his old shell. Will he find a new house? Early in February, Hermit Crab found just the house he was looking for. It was a big shell and strong. He moved right in, wiggling and waggling about inside it to see how it felt. It felt just right, but it looked so plain, thought Hermit Crab. Here we can see the shell. And he doesn't like it because it doesn't have any decorations. It's just plain. What do you think he'll decorate it with? In March, Hermit Crab met some sea anemones. They swayed gently back and forth in the water. "How beautiful you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to come and live on my house? It is so plain, it needs you." "I'll come," whispered a small sea anemone. Gently, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his shell. In April, Hermit Crab passed a flock of starfish moving slowly along the sea floor. "How handsome you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to decorate my house?" "I would," signaled a little sea star. Carefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and put it on his house. So now he has a sea anemone and a starfish. What's next? In May, Hermit Crab discovered some coral. They were hard and didn't move. "How pretty you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to help make my house more beautiful?" "I would," creaked a crusty coral. Gingerly, that means carefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. In June, Hermit Crab came to a group of snails crawling over a rock on the ocean floor. They grazed as they went, picking up algae and bits of debris and leaving a neat path behind them. "How tidy and hard-working you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to come and help clean my house?" "I would," offered one of the snails. Happily, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it on his shell. Oh, he's getting more decorations. In July, Hermit Crab came upon several sea urchins. They had sharp, prickly needles. "How fierce you look," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to protect my house?" "I would," answered a spiky sea urchin. Gratefully, Hermit Crab picked it up with his claw and placed it near his shell. So the sea urchin is spiky and will be able to protect the Hermit Crab's house. In August, Hermit Crab and his friends wandered into a forest of seaweed. "It's so dark here," thought Hermit Crab. "How dim it is," murmured the sea anemone. "How gloomy it is," whispered the starfish. "How murky it is," complained the coral. "I can't see," said the snail. "It's like nighttime," cried the sea urchin. Oh, they're all scared of the seaweed forest. Would you be scared? In September, Hermit Crab spotted a school of lanternfish darting through the dark water. "How bright you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would one of you be willing to light up our house?" "I would," replied one lanternfish, and it swam over near the shell. So the lanternfish is going to give them light. In October, Hermit Crab approached a pile of smooth pebbles. "How sturdy you are," said Hermit Crab. "Would you mind if I rearranged you?" "Not at all," answered the pebbles. Hermit Crab picked them up one by one with his claw and built a wall around his shell. "Now my house is perfect," cheered Hermit Crab. Yay, he has all the things that he needs for his house. It took a very long time. Every page was a different month. But in November, Hermit Crab felt that his shell seemed a little too small. Little by little, over the year, Hermit Crab had grown. Soon, he would have to find another, bigger home. But he had come to love his friends, the sea anemone, the starfish, the coral, the sea urchin, the snail, the lanternfish, and even the smooth pebbles. "They have been so good to me," thought Hermit Crab. "They are like family. How can I ever leave them?" What's he going to do? He doesn't want to leave his friends, but his house is too small now. In December, a smaller hermit crab passed by. "I have outgrown my shell," she said. "Would you know of a place for me?" "I have outgrown my house too," answered Hermit Crab. "I must move on. You are welcome to live here, but you must promise to be good to my friends." "I promise," said the little crab. Well, that's very nice. Hermit Crab is sharing his shell. He's ready to move on, so he's giving it to somebody who's younger than him. The following January, Hermit Crab stepped out, and the little crab moved in. "Couldn't stay in that little shell forever," said Hermit Crab as he waved goodbye. The ocean floor looked wider than he had remembered, but Hermit Crab wasn't afraid. Soon he spied the perfect house, a big empty shell. It looked, a little plain, but... "Sponges," he thought. "Barnacles, clownfish, sand dollars, electric eels. Oh, there are so many possibilities. I can't wait to get started. And that's the end of our story. This page just tells us about all of the other ocean animals that Hermit Crab met along his way. And I hope you enjoyed the story. You can think about, if you were Hermit Crab, how would you decorate your shell? It's kind of like if you redecorated your bedroom or got new furniture, which I know some of you did recently, you get to design your own little house and do what you like in your own space. So I hope you enjoyed reading about Hermit Crab and all of his under the sea friends, and I will see you next time.